So if you are not in the Extension Content Editor Teams channel, you probably did not see the notification about the county website transition status report being updated on my extension. So I just wanted to bring it up real quick. If you search for county website or county website transition status report in my extension, it'll come up in the search results. And this is where we're going to do some of our communication about the changes and stuff that are being made. So initially, you can see at the top is a list of sites that have gone live and what their live date was. So that you can kind of keep track of where we are in the transition or go check out some of those sites after they go live. And then down at the bottom here, the changelog is really what I want to talk to you about. So um, while the county website transition has officially begun, we're still very much in the development phase. So new features are being released, changes are being made, corrections, things that just aren't quite working the way that we want them to work. So any changes that we make, we're going to list here in this change log. Last week was the first week that we did it, not the first time we made changes. So you'll see that we have just a few from last week. We'll be adding any additions to this changelog every Friday. So if you're wondering what we've been doing or what new things are available, you'll find them in the changelog. Also, we won't make any major changes to your website without letting you know first or giving you the option to partake in whatever new feature is available. So there will be additional communication. This is just one central location that you can go to find any changes that we're making or any updates to the transition process. So I just wanted to point this out before we got started today. And I'll put this link in the chat too for you. So today we're continuing on with the content editor, and I'm going to stay true to our 10:30 time frame for our end time. So today I want to focus mainly on the media library, and we'll see if we have any time to cover any of the additional things. So I'm just not going to show you how I got to this page. It's just a normal content, add content. But let's talk about the media library. So the media library has an icon. You can see it says insert from media library when I'm hovering. And I'm going to click on that. And this is the media library. I'm not sure why it's off to the side there. Maybe it's just my screen because I have so many things open. But closing my windows. Okay. So the media library has three different media types: image, document, and remote video. And all three of these can be uploaded via the media library. Images is always going to be the default when you open the media library, but clicking on the tab for the other options brings up any additional media library options here. So let's take a look at the total media library screen before we start going through the upload and insertion process. When you first pull up the media library, the default is always going to be the grid view, which is what you're seeing. It's just a grid, a 4-column grid of the images with a thumbnail. And sometimes, especially when you start to get a lot of things uploaded, this gets to be quite a long list to look at, and it's not exactly short by any means. So we do have an additional option that you can switch the view, and that's the table. So if I just click the table icon, it switches it to more of a table look, which just kind of condenses the way that it looks. So this is really just up to you how you want to look at this screen. If it's easier for you to look at one, either the grid or the table, you decide. You get to switch back and forth however you like. There's also filtering options available for each one of the media types. So you can search by the name of the file. So this is where naming your files something that makes sense is really going to come into play. I know that they don't have a Clover, but if you had the 4-H Clover uploaded and the name of the file had Clover in it, you could search for Clover and apply, and it would pull up if there was something available. So to remove that, I just deleted and applied the filter again. So it's bringing up everything again. You also have the ability to sort by the newest, first, or in alphabetical order. So again, your file names are going to be really important if you want to be able to filter at all. Um, excuse me, you'll have to bear with my coughing. I'm having a little bit of a chest cold. So, each one of the media options has the same filter options: search by name, sort by, all the same. Um, so let's talk about images first. And I am playing on Montgomery County's site. It's on preview. I'll delete anything that I do on here so I don't mess them up. But I'm gonna find an image that I have not uploaded to their site. This is a screenshot I took this morning of an error, so I'll go ahead and just double click that, and it's opening my image, and it's taking me to an image screen here where I can add more information. So most of this is going to be stuff that you don't need to change. I mean, you could, there would just be no benefit to changing it. But the one thing that you do need to add to this screen is the alternative text. So the help text underneath of that field is going to tell you exactly what it needs. It wants a short description of the image that's used by screen readers and displays when the image is not loaded. So if someone has bad internet connection, the alternative text is going to show instead of the image. It's also very important for accessibility for our screen reader users. So image alternative text needs to be descriptive. So we're trying to describe what the purpose of the image is, what it's of, like how it relates to the content. So my screenshot is a list of errors. So I would probably say a list of errors on the font awesome icon because that is what it is of. Um, but you're trying to describe what your user is missing if they can't view the image. What's important about the image in relation to the context of why you have it laid out there. So I'm going to type this in. And I'm going to go ahead and hit save. That's going to take me back to the media library main screen, and the image that I just uploaded is going to be pre-selected for me. So at this time, I can go ahead and hit insert selected. And it's going to insert it into my body wherever my cursor was placed. Now, once we have it inserted, there's an edit media button right above it. And if you click that button, it's going to take you to a screen that's going to allow you to select alignment of the image, add a caption, or change the size. So one of the main differences between the new sites and the old sites is that you can't just randomly select the size. It's annoying, I know. I'm also annoyed by it. But we have pre-selected, predetermined image sizes. So there's banner, full, banner short, large, max, medium, and small. So you have some different options, and the pixel sizes are in parentheses behind them, so you know what size to make them if you want to pre-size them. Excuse me. Um, the caption is going to, I'm just going to add a caption and hit save so you can see what that looks like. It adds just a small little caption space beneath the image where you can type your caption. And this is what it looks like on the view screen. It is just a small, like, little gray area underneath the image to define it as a caption for the image. You'll also notice this, the little um, cross at the top, and that is a drag and drop. So the media is, you can drag and drop it into different areas of the body as you, if you want to move it instead of copying and pasting it. So next, I am going to go back to the media library, and we're going to go to documents. So each one of the um, media types is going to tell you the file size that's allowed, which is up to 10 megabytes, and the file types that are allowed on each different section. So I'm going to go ahead and upload, and I'm fairly certain I've uploaded all of these, so we'll go back and see if I can find an old one. Okay. So I've uploaded my documents. So documents are a little tricky at the moment. We're actively working on finding a solution. So I'll tell you how to get around the issue at the moment. So all I need to do is upload the document. I don't have to do anything else. I could totally disregard everything in this second window that comes up and hit save. And then I'm going to go ahead and insert. Again, it's pre-selected after I insert, or after I save it. I'm going to go ahead and insert the document. And if you'll notice, it inserted it with the actual file name and the file extension. So if, I'm going to delete that. I'm going to leave it there. Sorry. So if I decided that I wanted to change the way that it inserted that, I'm going to go back and I'm going to upload this second one. So the description is what can be used as the label of the link to the file. Excuse me. So instead of inserting the file with the file name and the extension, I want it to be more human readable, make more sense. And mind you, I have no idea what I'm uploading at the moment, so I'm just going to make something up and we're going to say it's a livestock ID help sheet, even though I'm quite certain it's not. So that's what I'm going to enter into the description. And if I hit save and insert, it's now going to insert as what I entered into the description. So it's a lot more usable, a lot more user friendly to look at than the actual file name and file extension. Now, if I still wanted the file extension to be in there, I could have written livestock ID help sheet.pdf or parentheses PDF. You can still add that in there. It's whatever you want to enter into the description field. Now, this works great unless you are, my cursor is not being awesome today. This works great unless you're trying to hyperlink a document. This is where it gets finicky, and this is where we have a workaround for the current problem. Again, we're actively working on finding a solution for this, but if I were to insert either one of those into a paragraph, it's going to add that spacing around the document that I've inserted. It takes account in it takes this edit media into account, which you really don't need to edit media. There's nothing here really to do except for caption and align, which you don't normally need to do with the document. So instead of entering a URL or throwing this into the middle of a paragraph and messing up the spacing, I want to hyperlink this text. So I'm going to enter a little paragraph here. And what I'm going to do is open up the media library, go back to document. Now I've uploaded my document. It's this one right here. I've come back to this screen, and prior to this, I hit insert selected, and that's where we got that second example I have up. But instead of doing this, what I'm going to do is right click on the title of the document and hit copy link address. And then I'm going to X out of the media library. So I'm never hitting insert selected. Now I'm going to highlight the text that I want hyperlinked, hit the link icon, and paste in the URL. So again, this is just a workaround because it's finicky at the moment. Obviously not an ideal solution when you're trying to hyperlink text within a paragraph, but this is the only workaround that we have right now. So inserting the documents is really only helpful when you're not inserting a document within a paragraph. All right, let's talk about videos. Going back to the media library, we're going to click on remote video. So the only videos that you can upload to your site are from YouTube and Vimeo. So your videos need to be hosted on YouTube or Vimeo, and they need to be captioned. If you need help captioning, please reach out to Extension Web, myself, or the advancement team for help with captioning. But we want to make sure those videos are captioned. and not just the automatic captions. I have some awesome stories about how bad automatic captions can be, and I'll give you just one that I was captioning the other day. It was in relation to 4-H, and the automatic caption said Fight Club, and I was like, Fight Club, what is that? It was supposed to be 4-H Club. So there's a perfect example of why automatic captions are rarely correct and often need corrected. So in order to add a video, I'm going to go ahead and go to YouTube, and I am going to find our little county webinar series here. And I'm going to throw this link in the chat just so that you have it. This is where you can find any recordings. And I'm going to open up the first video that we did. So I found my video on YouTube that I want to share. I'm going to hit the share button underneath the video, and I'm going to copy the URL. And I'm going to go back to my page, and I'm just going to paste that URL right in there. And I'm going to hit add. And my video is, there's a screenshot of my video. I don't need to change anything else on this screen. I can leave everything as the default and hit save. So from this point, back on my media library main screen, this is a completely functional video. I can hit play. We can all hear me talk for a minute. It's completely functional. Once I insert it, it's also completely functional from the edit screen. And then, of course, we have edit media options on the video as well, where you can align the video, you can add a caption, you can also choose what video size you want to display it as. There's 3 different ones. It comes in as the largest possible option, but you can edit or adjust to whatever size makes sense for you. And again, this is completely a drag and drop interface, so I can move it around within the body very easily. So we have a couple other things that I want to cover in relation to the media library before I go on. Does anyone have any questions about adding content or through the media library? Feel free to unmute your mic or type in the chat if you want. Okay, so eventually you're going to have a lot of media on your site. Right now, it's pretty easy to look through that media library and find what I'm looking for if I'm trying to reuse media that I've already used on the site. But eventually there's going to be a lot there, and you might want to like clean up your list or double check to see if you have something uploaded. So there is 2 different screens I want to look at. We're going to look at the media first. And this is basically the media library, just in a different format. It's not within a page or anything. So this is all of the media that we've added to this site. It's got a thumbnail, the name of the media, what type it is, who uploaded it, when it was uploaded, etc. So you can view all of the media on the site on this one screen. You can also go in and edit. Actually, will just save me some time later, and I'll edit one of the ones that I need to remove. So this embedded video obviously is just going to show me the URL of the video. Just like a piece of content, I can unpublish this or delete this at any time. I'm going to go ahead and delete it. Obviously, we don't need it. Same with this document. I can change the description here. I can remove the document and re-upload something in its place, or I can delete or unpublish from this screen as well. So this is just an easy way to view all of the media on your site without having to go to a piece of content and then to the media library. It's just an easy way to manage the content or the media on the site. It also allows you to search by the name of the media, what type it is, whether it's published or not. So lots of filtering options to help narrow down a search if you're looking for something in particular or just one type of media. And then it also allows you to do some bulk operations. So if you have a lot of stuff you need to delete or unpublish or publish, the easiest thing in here to do is just to go in and select multiple items and then select the appropriate action and hit apply. You can also do easily check everything in one screen with that top checkbox. So lots of ways for you to keep an eye on the media files on your site. Now, I'm going to take you to the files overview page, and this is going to be helpful as well if you're ever wanting to clean up files, or perhaps something got uploaded by accident and somehow people are still able to find it even though you took off the actual link. Oh yes, sorry, Judy. Content media is how we get to the media screen, and content files for the screen that we're on now. You're welcome. Um, so the files overview page is going to tell you how many places the file is used in. So if it's not being used, do we still need it? Probably not. But I'm guessing no one has so much free time that they're going to go in and delete things just because they're not being used. Maybe, maybe. Um, but this is a great way to see if a file is being used elsewhere before you delete it. Someone else could be using it on a different page that maybe they updated that you did not. Um, and so you can go to this page and see if it's being used elsewhere. Now, the negative and something we're planning to add as a feature to this is, where is it being used? Nobody knows. So not extremely helpful when you're trying to track down where it's being used, but it does tell you if it's being used. So I would look for this to be added in a later feature release where you will be able to tell what pages the file is actually being used on, which will be a lot more helpful. So again, this is just an extra place that you can go to try and manage the media on your site a little bit easier. Questions? We only have like 7 minutes left, so not a lot of time to get started on another section of the content editor. We still have quite a few things to go over. So I'm not going to start something new. So if nobody has questions, we're going to go ahead and end today, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks for the third part of the content editor training. Oh, yes, Susan. Yes, this is for the new website, not old sites. There won't be any updates to the old sites. Okay, I'm gonna give you back 5 minutes of your life, and I hope you all have a great afternoon, rest of your day, and I hope to see you again in 2 weeks.